Intelligence Officer Kevin Baker sat alone in his dark office. The only light came from screens showing coded messages from spies throughout the Zoraxian Empire. He had been reading for hours, and what he found made his stomach tight with worry. He reached for his communication device. "This is Baker. I need to speak with Admiral Johnson immediately. Priority Alpha." 20 minutes later, Kevin stood in the main war room at Earth Defense Command. Admiral Johnson, General Gibson, and other leaders listened as he explained what he had discovered. "They're coming for Earth," said Kevin, pointing to movement patterns on a star map. "The Empire has gathered their main battle fleet, 500 warships under Grand Admiral Vexitari. This is their full response to our attacks." The room went quiet. Earth had won several battles, but they had never faced anything close to 500 Imperial warships at once. "How long do we have?" asked Admiral Johnson. 3 days, maybe 4, said Kevin. "They're moving slowly, making sure all ships arrive together." General Gibson studied the map. "Do we have any ships that can intercept them before they reach our solar system?" "No," said Kevin. "All our vessels are either here defending Earth or helping the Vrisk secure their worlds." Admiral Johnson's face was grim. "Then we make our stand here. Call back every ship we can. We'll need them all." Over the next 2 days, Earth prepared for the biggest battle in human history. 15 warships formed a defensive line near Jupiter. 10 more protected Earth directly. The remaining vessels helped evacuate key personnel to underground bunkers on Mars and the Moon. Colonel Lisa Rodriguez led a special tactical team developing plans to face the much larger enemy force. "We can't match them ship for ship," she told Admiral Johnson. "So we won't try. Instead of a defensive line, we'll use scattered formations, make them split up to chase us." The Admiral nodded slowly. "A risky approach, but conventional tactics won't work against these numbers." "We have one more advantage they don't expect," added Lisa. "Dr. Freeman has finished the new quantum entanglement drives. Our ships can make micro jumps that their targeting systems can't predict. This was their secret weapon. Most ships had to calculate jump points carefully and could only jump long distances. The new drives could make tiny jumps within a battle zone, appearing and disappearing too quickly for enemy weapons to lock on. As they finalized the battle plans, a message arrived from Ambassador Kieltor of the Vrisk. 3 of their battle cruisers would join Earth's defense. The Crystalline Luminar also sent 2 ships with their advanced shield technology. It wasn't enough to match the Imperial fleet, but every ship helped. On the day the Zoraxian Armada entered the solar system, Admiral Johnson addressed all defense forces from his flagship. "Today we fight not just for Earth, but for every world that wants freedom from the Empire. We are outnumbered but not outmatched. Remember your training. Trust your AI systems. Believe in each other. That's how we've won so far. And that's how we'll win today." The first Imperial ships appeared near Neptune's orbit. They moved in perfect formation, hundreds of purple vessels against the blackness of space, their weapons charged, ready to destroy anything in their path to Earth. But they found no defensive line waiting for them. Instead, Earth ships were scattered throughout the solar system, some hiding behind moons, others drifting near asteroid fields. "They're confused," reported Diana Clark, who now served as tactical officer on Admiral Johnson's flagship. "Their formation is slowing. They're trying to decide which targets to pursue first." "Begin Phase 1, ordered the Admiral. 10 Earth ships suddenly appeared from their hiding places and fired on the edges of the Imperial formation. Then, before the Zoraxians could respond, they activated their quantum drives and jumped away. The Imperial fleet broke formation with groups of ships chasing after the attackers. This was exactly what Earth had planned. "They're spreading out," said Diana. "Grand Admiral Vexitari is ordering them to regroup, but many are already too far away." "Phase 2, said Admiral Johnson. All ships commenced jump pattern Alpha. Across the solar system, Earth vessels began making rapid micro-jumps, appearing next to Imperial ships just long enough to fire, then vanishing before the aliens could target them. The Zoraxian weapons, designed to hit large targets at long range, couldn't track the quickly jumping Earth ships. On the bridge of the Imperial flagship, Grand Admiral Vextari raged at his officers. "Find a way to lock onto their ships. How are they moving like this? It defies the laws of physics." The battle spread across the entire solar system. Imperial ships fired at the positions where Earth vessels had been moments before, hitting nothing but empty space. Meanwhile, the human attacks were precise and coordinated through quantum communications, allowing every ship to know exactly where and when to strike. Captain Eric Taylor led a special mission aboard the fastest Earth ship, the Raptor. While the main battle raged, his team approached the Imperial flagship from below in its sensor blind spot. With them was a squad of soldiers with the strongest psychic abilities Earth had found. "Prepare for boarding," Eric told his team. "Remember, our target is Grand Admiral Vextari. Capture if possible, but the mission comes first." Using the quantum drive, the Raptor jumped to within 50 meters of the Imperial flagship's hull. Magnetic clamps locked onto the larger vessel, and Eric's team cut through the outer hull with special tools designed by Megan Roberts' engineering team. Inside the flagship, alarms blared as sensors detected the breach. Juraxian soldiers rushed to defend their ship, but they ran into an invisible wall of psychic energy. Human soldiers with telekinetic abilities pushed them back, while others created illusions that made the aliens fire at empty corridors. Eric led his team straight toward the command center. The ship's layout had been provided by Vrisk Intelligence, making navigation easy despite the massive size of the vessel. "Command center ahead," said Eric's second-in-command. "Heavy resistance." Eric nodded. "Full psychic assault on my mark. 3, 2, 1, now." The psychic soldiers focused their minds together. On the other side of the door, Zeraxian officers clutched their heads and fell to the floor as overwhelming mental pressure filled the room. Eric's team burst through the door. In the center of the command center stood Grand Admiral Vextari, larger than other Zeraxians with 6 eyes instead of 4, and gold armor covering his blue skin. "Surrender," said Eric, pointing his weapon at the admiral. The alien looked at the fallen officers around him and at the determined human soldiers. For a moment it seemed he would fight. Then, slowly, he raised his hands. "This is not possible," said Vextari, his voice deep and rough. "No species has ever boarded an Imperial flagship in combat." "Humans do lots of impossible things," replied Eric. "Now order your fleet to stand down." Throughout the solar system, the battle had turned against the Imperial forces. Their formations broken, their targeting systems confused by the quantum jumps. They had lost nearly 200 ships without destroying a single Earth vessel. When Grand Admiral Vextari's surrender order was broadcast across all channels, most Imperial captains obeyed. Some tried to continue fighting, but without coordination they were quickly disabled by the now united Earth forces. The battle for Earth lasted less than 1 day. Of the 500 Imperial ships that entered the solar system, over half were destroyed or captured. The rest jumped away, fleeing back to Imperial space with news of a defeat unlike any in Imperial history. In the following weeks, rebellions broke out across the Empire. The Vrisk reclaimed 3 of their ancestral worlds. The Luminar declared independence in the Orion sector. Dozens of other species, long oppressed by Imperial rule, rose up against their Zeraxian governors. On Earth, celebrations filled every city. People who had feared alien invasion now cheered news of victory. What had begun as a desperate defense had become a galactic revolution. Admiral Johnson met with Grand Admiral Vextari, now a prisoner of war. The Zeraxian seemed smaller somehow, his arrogance gone. "Why did you attack us?" asked Johnson. "We posed no threat to you." Vextari's 6 eyes blinked slowly. "You were a threat the moment we discovered you. Your combination of artificial intelligence and psychic abilities, no other species has both. The Emperor feared what you might become. So you tried to destroy us before we could grow stronger." "Yes. A mistake, clearly." The alien looked out the window at Earth. "What will you do now? Destroy our empire? Replace us as the rulers of the galaxy?" Admiral Johnson shook his head. "We don't want to rule anyone. We want all species to be free to choose their own path. Vexitari made a sound that might have been a laugh. Noble words. We shall see if they remain true when power is in your hands. As guards led the Imperial Admiral away, Johnson wondered if the alien might be right. Victory had come quickly, but peace would be harder to maintain. The Empire was wounded but not destroyed. Many Zeraxian worlds remained loyal to their emperor. The war had changed everything. Humanity had gone from an unknown species to the center of a galactic rebellion in less than a year. Now they faced an even greater challenge, building something better than the empire they had helped to break. Commander Ryan Peters kept his face calm as he looked at the view screen. His ship, the Defiant, floated in the shadow of a large moon. Two other Earth ships, the Valiant and the Phoenix, waited nearby. They were about to attack the main Zeraxian, base in the Proxima Centauri system. All teams report ready, said Lieutenant Diana Clark. Her hands moved quickly over the ship's AI tactical system. Special forces are in position. Ryan nodded. Begin the attack. Remember, we want to take the base intact if possible. The three ships moved out from behind the moon. They flew in a pattern that the AI system had calculated would be hardest for the alien defenses to track. On the base, alarms began to sound. The Zeraxians had improved their alert systems since the humans' first victory. This time they knew the attack was coming. Enemy ships launching, reported Diana. 8. No, 10 vessels. Small to medium class. Stay with the plan, said Ryan. Focus fire on their lead ship. All 3 Earth vessels fired at once. Their weapons had been upgraded based on data from previous battles. The lead Zeraxian ship's shields flickered and failed after just 3 hits. Their shield frequency is changing, Diana said, watching her screens. The AI is adapting our weapons. This was one of Earth's biggest advantages. Their combat AI could learn during battle while the Zeraxian systems were fixed. Sergeant Wilson, begin your part, Ryan ordered through his comm system. On the surface of the nearby planet, Sergeant Matt Wilson led a team of soldiers with psychic abilities. They had landed secretly the day before. Now they focused their minds on the Zeraxian soldiers in the base. The aliens began to act strangely. Some dropped their weapons. Others gave confusing orders. Many reported seeing enemy troops where there were none. It's working, said Diana, watching reports come in. Their ground forces are in chaos. The space battle continued. 2 Earth ships focused on the alien vessels while the Defiant moved closer to the base. Its special weapons targeted the base's main defense cannons, disabling them without destroying the structures. 1 Zeraxian ship exploded when it tried to ram the Phoenix. 2 more retreated, jumping away to get help. The others fought on, but they were clearly losing. Base defenses are down to 20%, reported Diana. Sergeant Wilson's team is at the main entrance. Ryan allowed himself a small smile. Move us into position for Phase 3. The Defiant landed near the base while the other ships continued the space battle. Ryan led a group of Marines out of the ship. They joined Wilson's team at the base entrance. How's it going, Sergeant? Asked Ryan. Matt Wilson grinned. His eyes glowed slightly with psychic energy. They're very confused in there, sir. Most have either surrendered or locked themselves in safe rooms. Good. Let's move in. They are. Human forces entered the base. There was some resistance, but it was disorganized. The Zeraxian soldiers had never faced enemies who could confuse their minds and make them see things that weren't there. Within 2 hours, the base was under human control. The remaining alien ships had either been captured or had fled. It was another clear victory for Earth. Ryan stood in the base's command center, looking at the alien technology. Make sure all of this is scanned and sent back to Earth, he told his team. Engineering will want to study everything. Diana approached with a tablet. Sir, you need to see this. We found their communication logs. Ryan looked at the data and his eyes widened. They've been sending warnings throughout the Empire. They're calling us demons. They're telling everyone to avoid human ships at all costs. That could work in our favor, said Diana. Fear can be a powerful weapon. Before Ryan could respond, a new message appeared on the main screen. It wasn't from Earth or the Zeraxians. The language was different, with clicks and buzzing sounds. Translation. Coming through, said a communications officer. It's from the Vrisk. The insectoid Vrisk had been under Zoraxian rule for centuries. According to intelligence, they were one of several species that might help humans if given the chance. The translated message appeared on screen. To the human forces. We have observed your victories. The time has come to talk. We know how to contact others who also wish freedom from the Empire. This was exactly what Earth had hoped for. Ryan immediately sent word to Admiral Johnson and Intelligence Officer Natalie Young. A meeting was arranged at a neutral location, an abandoned mining outpost in a system far from both Earth and the Empire's main forces. 3 days later, Ryan stood beside Natalie as they waited in the outpost's main hall. A Vrisk ship had docked an hour earlier. The door slid open, and 3 Vrisk entered. They looked like tall, green mantises walking on 2 legs. Their compound eyes shimmered with reflected light. I am Ambassador Kieltor, said the lead Vrisk. Its voice came through a translator device. We have watched your species fight the Empire when all others have failed. How is this possible? Natalie stepped forward. We have advantages they don't expect. Our AI systems adapt during battle. Some of our people have mental abilities that confuse their soldiers. But most importantly, we refuse to submit. The Vrisk made a clicking sound that the translator didn't catch. The Empire has ruled for thousands of years. They have conquered hundreds of worlds. Yet you, with just a few ships, have won multiple battles. We need allies, said Ryan. The Empire is still far stronger than us. But together with the Vrisk and others, we could change the balance of power. Ambassador Kieltor's antennae twitched. We have information that could help you. Locations of supply depots, movements of their main battle fleets, defense codes for some of their bases. This was more than they had hoped for. With such intelligence, Earth could plan precise strikes against key targets. In return, continued the Vrisk, we ask for your help, liberating 3 of our worlds from Imperial control. Ryan and Natalie exchanged glances. It was a big commitment, but the potential alliance was worth it. We will bring your proposal to our leaders, said Natalie, but I believe they will agree. The meeting continued for hours. The Vrisk shared detailed information about the Empire's structure and weaknesses. They also mentioned another species that might join them, the crystalline Luminar, who had advanced shielding technology. When Ryan returned to Earth, Admiral Johnson called an emergency meeting of military leaders. The information from the Vrisk changed everything. We now have the locations of 5 major Imperial strongholds, said the Admiral, pointing to a star map. With the Vrisk data, we can hit them all at once. They won't be able to coordinate a response in time. General Gibson looked concerned. That would commit most of our fleet if something goes wrong. It's a risk, admitted the Admiral. But this is our chance to show every species in the Empire that the Zoraxians can be beaten. The psychological impact would be enormous. After much debate, the plan was approved. Earth would strike all 5 targets simultaneously, using the quantum communication system to coordinate the attacks perfectly. The day of the operation, 25 Earth ships jumped to their targets. It was nearly every FTL-capable vessel Earth had built. At precisely the same moment, they attacked Imperial bases and shipyards across 5 star systems. Ryan led the attack on a major fuel processing station. Diana's AI tactical system quickly disabled the station's defenses while Matt Wilson's psychic team created chaos among the defenders. Similar scenes played out at the other targets. The precise coordination made possible by quantum communications meant the Empire couldn't send reinforcements in time. Within 6 hours, all 5 operations were successful. News of the victory spread rapidly. The Vrisk openly rebelled on 2 of their worlds. The Luminar, impressed by human success, reached out to offer their alliance and technology. In the Imperial capital, High Emperor Zortaxon called his military council together. How is this happening? He demanded, his 4 eyes blazing with anger. How can one primitive species cause so much damage? None of his advisors could give a satisfactory answer. The humans fought like no enemy they had ever faced. They adapted too quickly, struck too precisely, and seemed to know too much about Imperial defenses. Perhaps, suggested one brave advisor, we should consider opening peace talks. The Emperor struck the advisor down with a single blow. Never. Gather the main battle fleet. We will crush their homeworld once and for all. As the Imperial commanders rushed to obey, a sense of unease spread among them. For the first time in living memory, the Zeraxian Empire faced a threat it didn't understand and couldn't easily defeat. Across the galaxy, word spread, if you want to fight the Empire, look to the humans. They know how to win. Commander Allison Carter stood on the bridge of the Earthship Valiant. Her hands were steady, but her heart beat fast. This was a big day for all humans. After 10 years of being able to travel faster than light, they were about to meet aliens, for the first time. 5 minutes until the alien ships reach us, said Lieutenant Ben Howard. He watched the screen showing 5 large purple ships moving toward them. Allison nodded. Open the channel when they get close. Remember what we practiced. We are peaceful, but we will not show fear. The crew worked at their stations. Earth had sent 5 ships to this meeting point in deep space. The aliens, who called themselves the Zeraxians, had found one of Earth's space beacons 3 months ago. They said they ruled over 300 star systems. Captain Steve Walsh walked up next to Allison. Do you think they come in peace? He asked in a low voice. I hope so, she said. But I don't like how many weapons our scans show on their ships. The alien vessel stopped about 1,000 miles away. A light flashed on Ben's screen. They're sending a message, he said. Put it on the main screen, ordered Captain Walsh. The screen filled with the image of a tall, blue-skinned alien. It had 4 eyes and a mouth full of sharp teeth. Gold armor covered its chest, and its voice sounded like rocks in a blender when it spoke. I am High Admiral Vraxtul of the Zeraxian Empire. You will surrender your ships and your planet to us now. The bridge went silent. This was not the greeting they had hoped for. Captain Walsh stepped forward. This is Captain Steve Walsh of Earth. We come in peace and wish to talk as equals. We do not surrender. The alien's 4 eyes narrowed. Scans show your species has both artificial intelligence and mental powers. This combination is too dangerous. You cannot be allowed to exist freely. You have 1 minute to surrender. Allison moved to the weapons station. Shields up, she said quietly. Prepare for attack. On the screen, the alien was talking to someone they couldn't see. It looked angry. Lieutenant Howard leaned closer to his screen. Commander, I'm taking detailed scans of their ships. Their weapons are powering up. Captain Walsh tried once more. Admiral Vraxtul, we can discuss your concerns. There's no need for... The alien cut the connection. The screen went black. They're firing, shouted Ben. The ship shook as the first blast hit their shields. Allison grabbed the edge of her control panel to stay on her feet. Return fire, ordered Captain Walsh. All ships, defensive pattern Delta. The space between the ships lit up with weapons fire. The human ships were smaller but faster. They moved quickly, trying to avoid the heavy blasts from the alien vessels. The Explorer and the Discovery are hit bad, reported Ben. His face was pale as he watched 2 of the 5 Earth ships explode in bright flashes of light. Captain Walsh's face hardened. We can't win this fight. Prepare for emergency jump. Allison worked quickly at her station. The Oakland is badly damaged but still moving. The Phoenix is covering them. Send the emergency codes, said the captain. Jump coordinates to all ships. We need to warn Earth. Ben looked up from his station. Sir, I've got complete scans of their ships. I know how their weapons and shields work. Good work, said Allison. That will help us later. The ship shook again as another blast hit them. Warning lights flashed across the bridge. Shields at 40%, called out a crew member. Jump now, ordered Captain Walsh. Allison pressed the button that would send them faster than light back toward Earth. The stars on the screen stretched into lines, and the ship made a deep humming sound as it jumped away from the battle. When they came out of the jump 6 hours later, They were alone in space near Jupiter. Soon the Oakland and Phoenix appeared nearby. Only 3 of the 5 ships had made it home. "Send a message to Earth Defense Command," said Captain Walsh. His voice was tired. "Tell them we are at war." Allison looked at the data Ben had collected. The Zoraxian ships were powerful, but they had weaknesses. Their shields didn't work well against certain types of energy. Their weapons took time to recharge after big blasts. This information would help Earth prepare. In the following days, Earth got ready for war. Factories that made cars now made ship parts. People who wrote computer programs now worked on weapon systems. Farmers grew extra food to store for hard times ahead. Allison worked with General Frank Gibson to make plans for Earth's defense. They had only 15 ships that could travel faster than light. The aliens had thousands. "We'll need to be smarter," said General Gibson during a meeting. "We can't match them in numbers." "Their technology is more advanced in some ways," said Allison, "but Ben's scans show they don't use AI like we do, and they seem very afraid of our psychic abilities. Some humans had developed mental powers in the last 50 years. Some could move small objects with their minds. Others could sense emotions or send simple thoughts. The aliens seem to fear these abilities greatly. We also have something else they don't expect," added Ben, showing a screen of data. "They don't think we'll fight back. They expect us to run and hide." Allison smiled for the first time in days. "Then we'll surprise them. We won't wait for them to attack Earth. We'll strike first." As the weeks passed, Earth prepared for the first human war against an alien empire. Ships were built and crews trained. Weapons were designed to target the weaknesses Ben had found. Allison stood on the bridge of the newly upgraded Valiant. 5 more ships floated in space around them. They were about to jump to the Zoraxian outpost in the nearby star system. "All ships report ready," said Ben. He looked nervous but determined. Captain Walsh nodded to Allison. "Commander Carter, the attack plan is yours. Give the order." Allison took a deep breath. Humans had never fought aliens before. They were smaller, fewer, and less experienced. But they were fighting for their home, their freedom, and their right to exist. "All ships," she said clearly into the communication system. "Prepare to jump. Today we show the galaxy that humans don't surrender. We fight." As the ships jumped into faster-than-light travel, Allison knew the real war was just beginning. The Zoraxian Empire had ruled the stars for thousands of years. They had told other species to run and hide, but humans weren't good at running. They were good at surprising everyone, including themselves. 1 year after the failed Zoraxian invasion of Earth, a new space station hung in orbit around Jupiter. They called it Harmony Station. Its silver rings spun gently, creating gravity for the many different species that now lived and worked there. President Olivia Martinez stood in the main hall, waiting to greet delegates from 27 formerly subjugated species. She wore a simple blue uniform with Earth's new symbol, a planet with stars around it and a handshake across the center. "Are you nervous?" asked Admiral Johnson, standing beside her. Olivia smiled. "A little. It's not every day you help form a new galactic government." The doors opened and the delegates entered. They came in all shapes and sizes. The insect-like Vrisk walked on 2 legs, their green exoskeletons shining under the lights. The crystalline Luminar floated rather than walked, their bodies glowing from within. Other species included the furry Ketrans, the 4-armed Bajorans, and many more that humans were still learning about. "Welcome to Harmony Station," said Olivia. "Today we begin something new in the galaxy. Not an empire ruled by fear, but a confederation based on mutual respect and shared knowledge." Ambassador Kieltor of the Vrisk stepped forward. "For 3,000 years, the Zoraxian Empire told us resistance was futile. They were too strong, too advanced. Then humans showed us another way." A Luminar representative named Elder Luminar floated closer. "Your species fought when others fled. You adapted when others surrendered. You shared your victories when you could have conquered." Olivia nodded. "We believe all species should be free to choose their own path. The Confederation will protect that freedom, but never force any world to join." The delegates moved to a large round table. There were no special seats, no thrones or raised platforms. Every representative sat as an equal. "The first item," said Olivia, "is our mutual defense agreement. Each member world will contribute ships and soldiers to protect all Confederation planets." The discussion lasted for hours. Some species had been enemies before the Empire forced them all into submission. Old fears and rivalries didn't disappear overnight. But the shared experience of imperial rule and the example of human cooperation helped them work through their differences. While the political talks continued, humans and aliens worked together in other parts of the station. Engineer Jason Hughes demonstrated Earth's adaptive AI technology to a group of technical experts. "The key is that it learns and evolves," he explained. "It doesn't just follow fixed rules like imperial systems." The aliens studied the technology with interest. Many had been forbidden from developing AI under imperial law. Now they could see how it might help their worlds recover from centuries of exploitation. In the medical wing, Dr. Michelle Scott established the first interspecies medical exchange program. Human doctors learned about alien biology, while alien healers shared remedies and techniques unknown on Earth. The Ketron enzyme treatments could revolutionize our cancer therapies, Michelle told a colleague as they examined samples together. "And our surgical techniques might help the Vrisk with their exoskeleton restoration." This sharing of knowledge was happening throughout the station. The Empire had kept species separate, afraid they would become too powerful if they worked together. The Confederation took the opposite approach. Not everyone welcomed these changes. A significant faction of Zeraxian loyalists had retreated to their core systems after the defeat at Earth. They built massive defenses and promised to restore imperial rule. Intelligence reports suggested they were developing new weapons specifically designed to counter human psychic abilities. They called themselves the True Empire and viewed the Confederation as an illness that needed to be cured. Admiral Johnson, now serving as Earth's first Confederation security coordinator, reviewed these reports with concern. He met with Commander Allison Carter, recently promoted for her actions in the war. "The war isn't over," he told her. "It's just changed form. The True Empire is gathering strength. They'll attack again when they're ready." Allison studied the star maps showing True Empire territory. "We're stronger together now. 27 species instead of just humans." "Yes, but keeping that unity won't be easy. We have different histories, different ways of thinking. Some still fear us as much as they feared the Empire." This was the greatest challenge facing the Confederation. After centuries of imperial rule, many species had learned to distrust anyone with power. Humans had become powerful very quickly, making some allies nervous despite their good intentions. President Martinez understood these concerns. During the Confederation founding ceremony, she made an important announcement. "Earth will share all its technology with member worlds," she declared. "We will hold no secrets, maintain no advantages. Together we will build defenses that protect us all equally." This pledge helped ease fears, though some still wondered if humans would keep their word when tested. Power had corrupted many species before them. As the founding ceremony concluded, Commander Carter found herself standing beside Ambassador Keel Tor of the Vrisk and Elder Luminar of the Crystalline people. They watched as ships from dozens of worlds formed an honor guard around Harmony Station. "Your species did what none thought possible," said Keel Tor, his voice soft through the translator. "When we heard of your conflict with the Empire, our only advice was to run and hide. We had tried fighting for centuries and always failed." "Humans don't run very well," replied Allison with a smile. "We're much better at surprising ourselves, and everyone else." Luminar's crystal body pulsed. "With light, the True Empire still threatens us. They build weapons even now. Will humans stand with us when they return?" "We will," said Allison. "Not as leaders, but as equals. That's the difference between an empire and a confederation." The next day, the first Joint Confederation patrol left Harmony Station. The fleet included ships from 12 different species, working together under a unified command structure. Their mission was to secure the borders of Confederation space and show that the alliance was real. Captain Steve Walsh, who had survived, The very first contact with the Zoraxians commanded one of the Earth ships in this patrol. As they prepared to jump to their assigned sector, he addressed his mixed human and alien crew. 1 year ago, most of us had never met. Some of us were enemies. Now we fly together, protecting each other's homes. That's something the Empire never understood. Real strength comes from cooperation, not control. As the ships jumped away, news of the Confederation spread throughout the galaxy. On worlds still under Imperial control, people heard stories of freedom and equality. Some dismissed these as propaganda. Others began to wonder if change was possible. In the Imperial core, World's High Emperor Zortax enraged at his remaining advisors. This confederation is a disease that will spread if not stopped. Prepare the new weapons. We will crush the humans first, then their allies. His generals bowed, but doubt showed in their eyes. They had seen Imperial fleets broken by human ingenuity. They had watched subject worlds rise up after centuries of obedient service. For the first time, the Empire seemed vulnerable. On Earth, children looked up at the night sky with new understanding. The stars were no longer just distant lights. They were places where people lived, people who were now friends instead of strangers. Schools taught the languages and cultures of allied species. Businesses developed products for different biologies. Scientists worked with alien colleagues to solve problems neither could handle alone. The first human war had lasted less than a year, but it changed the galaxy forever. An empire that had stood for millennia now faced its greatest challenge. Not just military defeat, but a new idea of how different species could live together. As Harmony Station completed its first rotation around Jupiter, Ambassador Kieltor presented a gift to President Martinez. It was a small crystal that glowed with shifting colors. "This comes from the oldest Vrisk temple," explained the ambassador. "For generations we kept it hidden from the Empire. It represents hope during dark times." Martinez accepted the gift carefully. "I'm honored. What does the inscription say?" "It translates roughly to, 'The future belongs to those who dare to imagine it differently.'" The president smiled. "That sounds very human." "Perhaps," said Kieltor. "That is why you succeeded where others failed. You imagined a galaxy without the Empire when the rest of us had stopped dreaming." As the crystal changed colors in her hand, Martinez thought about the strange path that had brought humanity to this moment. One failed meeting in space had started a war. That war had sparked a revolution. Now the revolution was building something new. The Zoraxian Empire had ruled through fear for thousands of years. Their only advice to new species was simple: run. Humans had chosen not to run. Instead, they had fought, adapted, and built alliances. They had shown the galaxy a different path, one where different species stood together as equals rather than masters and slaves. No one knew if the Confederation would last. The true empire still threatened. Old rivalries might resurface. Power might corrupt even those with good intentions. But for the first time in millennia, the galaxy had a choice: empire or confederation, fear or cooperation, running or standing. Together, the human way had created that choice. Whatever came next, the stars would never be the same. 6 months had passed since the first meeting with the Zoraxian Empire went wrong. Earth had changed in that time. People who once worked in offices now made weapons. Children practiced hiding in shelters. The whole planet prepared for war. Engineer, Megan Roberts wiped sweat from her forehead as she studied the alien technology scans. Her team worked day and night in a lab deep under the Rocky Mountains. "Look at this," she said to her assistant. "The way they make their shield generators is different from ours. They use crystals we've never seen before." "Can we copy it?" asked the assistant. Megan shook her head. "Not exactly, but we can make our weapons target the weak points." Across the hall, General Frank Gibson met with Earth's military leaders. Maps and charts covered the walls. Blinking dots showed where they thought alien ships might be. "We have 15 ships ready for deep space," he said. 10 more will be ready next month. It's not enough to fight their main fleets, but we can hit smaller targets." An aide brought in a tablet with new information. "Sir, Intelligence Officer Young has sent her report. The general took the tablet and smiled as he read it. Get her on the video call now. A large screen lit up, showing Natalie Young. She had dark circles under her eyes from working too hard. Tell everyone what you found, said the general. Natalie nodded. The Empire isn't as strong as they want us to think. Many species they rule hate them. 2 groups in particular might help us, the insect-like Vrisk and the crystal people called Luminar. This was the first good news in months. Earth wasn't alone in disliking the Zeraxians. How do we contact them? Asked one of the officers. Carefully, said Natalie. If the Empire finds out, they'll punish these species. We need to send small ships to their outer colonies. The meeting went on for hours. By the end, they had a new plan. Instead of just defending Earth, they would attack first. Admiral Paul Johnson stood up to explain his idea. We can't wait for them to bring their full force here. We should hit their outposts near our solar system. Show them and other species that humans can fight back. Some people in the room looked worried. We only have 15 good ships, said one woman. They have thousands. True, said the admiral. But we have things they don't expect. He pointed to screens showing Earth's new weapons. Some used AI that could learn and adapt during battle. Others were designed for soldiers with psychic abilities. Most importantly, he continued, the Zeraxians think we're weak and scared. They won't be prepared. The room fell quiet as everyone thought about the plan. It was risky, but waiting seemed even more dangerous. One more thing, said a quiet voice from the back. Dr. Alice Freeman walked to the front. She was small and looked tired, but her eyes were bright. My team has made a breakthrough in quantum communications, she said. We can now send messages instantly between ships, no matter how far apart they are. Admiral Johnson's eyes widened. The Zeraxians don't have that? No, said Dr. Freeman. From what we've learned, their battle groups can't talk to each other quickly across space. They use light-speed communications, which have delays. This was another advantage. Earth ships could coordinate their attacks in real time, while enemy ships would be slower to respond. General Gibson looked around the room. We vote now. Do we proceed with Admiral Johnson's attack plan? One by one, the leaders raised their hands. The vote was unanimous. Earth would take the fight to the Empire. 2 weeks later, Commander Allison Carter stood on the bridge of the EC, Valiant again. 2 other ships floated nearby, the Phoenix and the newly built Defiant. Their target was a Zeraxian outpost in the Proxima Centauri system, the star closest to Earth's sun. All crews are ready, reported Lieutenant Ben Howard. Special forces are in position. Allison nodded. The Special Forces were soldiers with psychic abilities. They would be key to the mission's success. Begin jump sequence, she ordered. The 3 ships vanished into faster-than-light travel. When they emerged near Proxima Centauri, they immediately activated their stealth systems, another technology the Zeraxians didn't expect humans to have. The alien outpost orbited the 4th planet in the system. It was a large station with 20 ships docked around it. None of them were capital ships, just smaller patrol vessels. They don't know we're here yet, said Ben, checking his screens. Their systems aren't on high alert. Perfect, said Allison. She opened a channel to all 3 ships. Begin Phase 1. From the Defiant, a small craft launched silently. It carried 8 Special Forces soldiers led by Sergeant Matt Wilson. Their job was to board the station and disable its main defenses from inside. While they moved toward the station, the 3 Earth ships spread out to surround the outpost. They would attack from different angles once the defenses were down, and hour passed in tense silence. Then a green light flashed on Ben's console. Special Forces team is in, he said. They've reached the control center without being detected. Allison gripped the edge of her chair. Everything depended on timing now. Weapons ready, she ordered. On my mark. Another 30 minutes went by. Then the station's outer lights flickered and went out. That's the signal, said Ben. Defenses are down. All ships open fire, commanded Allison. The 3 Earth vessels decloaked and fired at the docked Zoraxian ships. Their weapons hit with precision, targeting engines and weapons systems they wanted to disable, not destroy. The alien ships had no time to react. Without their station's early warning system, they were caught completely by surprise. 4 exploded before they could power up. The others tried to fight back, but Earth's AI targeting systems adjusted with each shot, learning and improving, in real time. "The station is hailing us," said Ben, sounding surprised. Allison straightened her uniform. On screen, the main screen showed a Zoraxian officer. Behind him, Sergeant Wilson and his team stood with weapons pointed at other aliens. "This is Station Commander Krazel," said the alien. "We surrender." It was almost too easy. The first battle of the war, and Earth had won without losing a single ship or soldier. Over the next few days, they secured the station and all its information. They learned about other outposts, fleet movements, and communication codes. Most importantly, they captured a Zoraxian communication relay that could send messages throughout the Empire. Using this relay, Intelligence Officer Natalie Young sent coded messages to the Vrisk colonies. She told them that the Zoraxians could be defeated and that Earth wanted to talk. As the Earth ships prepared to return home with their prisoners and captured data, Allison received a message from Admiral Johnson. "Excellent work, Commander," he said. "Your victory has changed everything. The word is spreading through the Empire that humans fight back. The Vrisk have responded to our message. They want to meet." Allison looked at the stars outside her ship. The war had just begun, but already the tide was turning. Humans weren't just running and hiding as the Zoraxians expected. They were showing the galaxy something new: hope.